Narnia is a band that's hard to describe. On the surface, they appear to be a power metal band. They write about the books of C.S. Lewis, the Chronicles of Narnia. If you look at the early album covers, they all have the lion whose name was Aslan from those books. And they are kind of a power metal band, but there's actually a lot more components to their sound. They are a Christian band, and many of their songs are based on Christian values. But they also have a progressive element to their sound and also some neoclassical influence. So they are a unique type of band. They just released their 9th album called Ghost Town on March 17, 2023. So let's talk about it. So Narnia is a band from Sweden. They formed in 1996. They signed with Nuclear Blast Records and they released a few albums. They continued to record. At one point they changed their vocalist and they also had a 2-year breakup. But since then they have been going strong. So let's talk about the band. At first, on guitars is Carl-Johan Grimmark, a really great guitar player. He's been in other bands, mostly Christian bands like Rob Rock, Savior Machine. Very melodic guitarist, a very neoclassical influence. And the lead singer, Christian Riveliken, very powerful vocalist. I mean, he can like go high like Rob Halford. He can be powerful like Ronnie James Dio. And he's been in a lot of different bands like The Waymaker, Golden Resurrection, and a lot more. He's had a lot of bands. On drums, Andreas Johansson. He's played with Rob Rock. Very great drummer, just very powerful and very technical drummer. Martin Hamstrom on keyboards. The keyboards play a very essential part of the sound of this band and this album in general. So the keyboards do play a big part, and on bass is Jonathan Samuelson, very great bass player, and he's also been in different bands such as like Starman. So the album has 10 songs, not a long album, doesn't really feel long, it's like about 45, 50 minutes. And I think it's a pretty decent album all the way through. It's mostly like power metal, but it's melodic metal and it's progressive metal. So I wouldn't call it typical power metal. So let's go through the songs. We have Rebel, more like typical power metal because it has that like melodic intro, but then once the verse comes in, it's a little darker. It's a little more upbeat. The lyrics are very Christian. It's a very good opening track, very representative of what the band does. Also has some progressive elements and mostly like there's like a part right before the guitar solo, so that's a really good song. Thief, it's a little more of a progressive song. It has an upbeat tone. I like the machine gun riffing on this and the soaring vocals, and they have some keyboards reminding me of Deep Purple. Overall, the song has a big and epic sound and some cool instrumental passages. Hold On has a build-up. It kind of makes it sound like 80s arena rock. It's pretty good. Another one with biblical lyrics. Kind of feels like an arena rock song, and the solo is very melodic. You do hear elements of 80s glam, something like Whitesnake or something like that. Glory Days is a hard rocker. Opens with a cool guitar riff, sounds more like traditional heavy metal or like modern Striper. There are lots of melodic elements to the music. I like the guitar riffs on this song. There's a cool chugging sound and the vocals are very good. I also like the keyboard solo mixed in with the guitar sound. Descension is a longer 7-minute song. It's more of a prog rock. It's more of like Dream Theater, I would say. It's epic and it mentions biblical themes. They mention the Garden of Eden. Has some softer and heavier parts. Many parts are laid back, others are heavier. There's some piano interludes. It doesn't feel boring. The song goes through many different changes. Then Ghost Town is a melodic rock song. It has a very big sound, very good vocal performance. Another one reminded me of like arena rock. It's a very like melodic song. Alive is a melodic rocker. I like the thick bass sound in the song. The lyrics are Christian based. More of like a Striper kind of sound. It has a melodic keyboards, powerful vocals. It's pretty good. Good mix of melody and heaviness. Modern Day Pharisees, one of the more progressive songs, maybe similar to Dream Theater. Good mix of guitars and keyboards, has some different changes. There's a piano part, a melodic guitar solo, a jazzy background, some heavier riffs, so it's a really good one. Out of the Silence has a slow building intro, and a song about the second coming of Christ. It's a little bit more like progressive rock. There's a spoken part with the Lord's Prayer. They have lots of melodic parts. It's like a church song, complete. It has all the choirs, and it's very good. And the final song is Wake Up Call. It's a hard rocker. Like he does this like high scream, like this Rob Halford style kind of scream in the beginning. It kind of reminds me of like what Stryper's doing right now, where they have like this like harder sound than their earlier stuff. And also has some prog elements like the keyboards and the guitar. So it's a really good and powerful album closer. So that's all. And this band has gone through changes over the years. They don't write much about Chronicles of Narnia as much before. Like I was saying before, their past albums had the lion and the Aslan on the covers. The lyrical content was a lot more Christian-based than before, or at least I thought it was. And the sound was more straightforward, melodic rock and progressive metal. I didn't really hear much of their neoclassical sound as they had done on previous albums. This was more melodic, more arena rock, more of that 80s flair. Something like that previous album by Jorn Land. But anyway, it's a good listen. I think I prefer the older albums, but we'll see after I spend more time with this. I thought it was a good album. It's solid, and it's like nothing is bad on it. So my score is going to be a 7.5 out of 10. Let me know in the comments what you thought. So if you're interested, I have a playlist of 2023 album reviews. I'm going to put that right here, all the albums I have reviewed since January of this year. And thanks for watching. See you in the next one.